And di ba, Carlos, this kind of fish, they don't bite. They parang higop eh. They vacuum in the whole thing eh.
They
That's
have
how it gets.
They have no teeth. So what they do is they suck it and then little by little then swallow. So that's good.
That's what she said.
I know.
Well, save that for the cuento, man. We're gonna keep ourselves going here. Okay, this is John Joe, by the way. You mentioned Carlos. Yeah. So he's also got a lot of questions for you tonight. This is gonna be interesting. Okay, here we go. Talk episode number 14. We have with us our guest Carlos Morales. We're gonna be talking to you about fishing. Okay, John Joe over here, of course. Carlos, how are you doing, man?
Good. How's everyone, man?
Good. You know, we're all just trying to stay safe, trying to dream of our next fishing expedition.
It's nice to talk to people without wearing a mask.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, I can't understand anyone, you know. So nice to see you guys. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. You know, the thing is, we've had a lot of our, you know, first of all, you got us into fishing. You know, you know, when we didn't know anything. We just thought, you know, just get a rod, get a reel, bahala na, right? But, you know, we did some fishing when we go to Redwood, but it's very different. This time you took us fishing here in the Philippines and to certain places we never thought we'd catch. And it was a real eye-opener, right? But before anything, I wanted to put some structure, because we can go in so many different directions regarding fishing, right? But why you? Okay, because, and I want to share this to everyone. I'll share this screen. I want you to see how far back you've been fishing. Partner, how old were you there?
I can't see it, Mars. Where is it? Oh, yeah. I think I was like 10 years old, man.
No, so when you learned how to fish from your dad?
Yes, exactly.
So what?
So
he was like an avid fishing. Yeah.
My dad loved to fish, you know, with every summer when we go out, especially it was Montemar days, we'd fish when we're there. So the 4 or 5 days we stayed in Montemar was every day, wake up 5 a.m., fishing, and then back in the afternoon.
But I mean, was it as technical then? Did you know all these things? Did he teach you at bottom fishing, you know, trolling, all of those things? Or you just went out, bahala na hand line? I mean, how did you catch your fish back then with your dad? Was he already really technical with his rod and reels?
No. At that time it was like a wooden spool.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You know how the locals do it.
Yeah.
Yes. That's how I learned.
And what's that? You just park your banca out there and then just lay down the line. That's it. And then
no. Yeah, what we did, there are different kinds of fishing, no? What we did was, it was called bottom. So you travel to, it was shallow enough with anchor, drop the line and use, you know, certain baits like squid or shrimp. Basically, that was it. And you wait till the fish bites.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I saw crazy pictures of you, man. I mean, there's some, like this next one blew my mind, pare. Look at this. What the hell was that? That's a tuna, right? That's a yellowfin?
Yeah, that's a yellowfin tuna. That's in Mindoro.
You see, I never thought you had, I mean, but it's deep water.
Yes. It's called the Tuna Highway in Mindoro. So basically, you fish at night and you rest during the day. That's how tuna fishing is. And this is called drifting. So you drift.
So it's a different type of fishing.
Yes, a different type. You're drifting this time. So you bring out a certain amount of line, maybe 20, 30 fathoms, and then you just wait again with the drift. But at night, and then your bait is live squid.
Wow. That one you're holding is huge. It's almost your height.
That's 62 kilos.
Oh, sa sarap, puta.
Oh, we ate that. Oh,
just sarap. Now you're talking earlier about competition. No? This is one I dug up right in your FB. So this is one you joined where your team won. Yes. Team champion Carlos Morales, right? So how? I mean, this gaming. I mean, sport fishing. How is it played? Because there's a lot of numbers here. Is that by weight?
Okay. Basically, in tournaments, it's the weight of the fish. Okay. You have individual species per weight, and then you have a grand champion of total weight. So if you notice there, if you catch a sailfish, if you catch a marlin, if you catch a trevally, so all those are different categories. But again, at the end, added all is your total weight.
And then you have a given time of fishing? Like there's a time limit?
Normally those, like that particular tournament was held in San Vicente by Standard Insurance. That's normally a four-day tournament.
Wow. Okay.
So you're out at 3 a.m. Because it takes 2 hours to get to the fishing spot, and you have to be back in by 4 p.m. for safety.
I have a question though. Okay, so you mentioned that there's certain fish and certain weight that are included in the competition. What if you catch something that's rare, something that's really, really unfamiliar to the area, like just by chance? Does that ever happen? Not like a shark or something, but no, something not in the list.
Sharks are. We catch a lot of sharks, but they're not allowed. You know, you release them.
Okay.
Sharks and rays are not allowed. You know, you release them. We catch and release.
Okay.
So because you wouldn't know what bites your lure. You know, everything is by chance, so you wouldn't know, no? So if it's not part of the tournament, you have to release it.
So, okay, who's the one who asked for it? The organizers. They'll say you have to catch I don't know, a tanige or a tuna. You have to go for that.
Yeah, basically before the tournament start, there are rules and regulations and the types of species you have to catch. It's normally there.
Okay.
Yeah, imagine that, boss. You're catching something big. You're like, yeah, this feels so heavy. Tapos it's a shark. You gotta let it go.
No, but that's how it is, huh? So you only bring back to shore what is allowed during the competition, and that's weighed.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because this next, like this one, this is you guys, right? This is in the same competition with your team.
That's called the giant trevally.
Now, okay, trevally, is that talakitok the same thing?
Yes, exactly.
That's what I understand. Who names it? I mean, it's in local waters. They have a name for it.
Oh yes, definitely. In the Philippines, that's known as talakitok. In the US, they call it a jack trevel or trevally. In Australia, it's different. So it's all the jack species. There's over, I think, 80 to 100 kinds of jacks.
And these are not endangered in any shape, way, or form here. I mean, this is really mostly common in sport fishing.
Yes, but basically with that kind of trevally, it's not good eating. It's tough meat, so you can catch and release those.
But it is huge, pare. I mean, when you look at it, it's This is the one we caught. Remember in off tally, right?
No. Okay, there. That's a different kind. That's also a jack, but that's called an African pampano.
Okay, African pampano. Okay,
which is it's also a jack.
And is that the one I called the tuna when it was coming out? And then it's a fucking tuna.
Exactly.
For me, anything was a tuna, man. I said, shit, it's like huge fish. Parang this guy, John
I have
Joe,
that
he
video.
fought this for like 30 minutes or more, right?
Wow.
Yes, yes.
He was going around the boat. He was gonna get tangled with the anchor line. Which and you were saying that this fish would try to look for rocks, right? To try to get off the line. Is that what it
Yes,
does?
exactly. Normally, when they get hurt, the tendency for that fish is to head to rocks, and normally they try to take out the hook from their mouth.
Ah, okay.
So you notice when we caught him, he ran towards the rock. Remember?
Yes. This
So
is
we
the
have
same
to
fish
wait.
with our director. Iken, look at that. This is a huge one, man.
That's a different
Biggest
one.
fish I've
That's a
ever
bigger
seen.
one.
Oh, that's a different one. That's a different
Yeah,
one.
that's a different one. That's a bigger
Hey, look,
one.
he's in a different shirt.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. That's a different one. But it's pretty
that's a
big,
bigger one.
man. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah, and then I mean, it's just addicting, right? You go out there for hours and hours. Sometimes we were like even looking at ourselves, like looking at Iken. Is this guy full of shit or what? And we're here all day. We're waiting. And sometimes it can be boring. But when you get that sound, that bite, adrenaline rushes in. It just, it's hard to explain. And you'll never know if you get it or not,
That's right. But, like I said, we normally wait for the tide to change is when the fish bites. Remember, there's normally a time we look at. So during tide change, normally fish are active. So many times I tell you, wait for the tide change. Then we see. You normally have an hour before and an hour after.
So that's why you have that, you can look at your tide, right? The time, and then go out. That's why, because we would never go out early in the morning. Wala man, we're all tulog, right? We try to, but it's hard. But that's when they bite.
Sometimes the tide changes like 5 a.m. So you have to be out at that time.
Yeah, correct.
So it's all now, you can look at the moon, the tides, everything. Those are big factors in fishing.
Interesting, huh? And then, of course, we had a chance to go fishing also. What do you call that? Where was this? Off the States, right? When we rented a boat and these guys. And what was that fish? It was off the San Francisco Bay, right?
I think they were rockfish.
He can have a blast there.
Yeah, remember you were just getting bites all the time. Boom, boom.
I was finally happy.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? We want bigger. You want bigger, right? It's addicting. You keep looking for the bigger ones, diba?
Yeah.
Okay, then this one. Okay, Carlos. You took us to Caliraya Lake.
Yeah,
this was kind of bittersweet, but it was nice because it was the first time since, my God, the 80s I've been back in that lake, right? It's been ages. And I never knew that John Joe, apparently, Carlos was involved in seeding this lake with bass, with the bass.
Oh,
okay. Tell us about that. Tell us about that, Carlos.
John Joe, peep out the name of the boat.
Basically, it's Mars. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, it's on another lake, which is Pantabang, Nueva Ecija, and the group I belong to, PGFF, we're the ones who seeded there.
Okay.
This is in Nueva Ecija.
This freshwater lake. Yeah, when we went, and I love the name of your boat, man. It's the best name yet.
So I wanted to ask if you join the competitions, you use your own boat.
There are some tournaments you can use your own boat. If you don't have, you can rent or local speed bancas or speedboats. Some facilities have speedboats to rent out.
Okay, that's cool.
But
your boat's really the master bait boat. It's really the master bait.
The master bait boat. But that's lake fishing, John Joe. It's different.
Yeah.
So lake fishing, you wouldn't take this to the sea. There's no way you're gonna bring that to the sea, right? That's too small.
Boat, no chance.
That's really for the lake. It's calm. He brought us out early in the morning. There was still fog over the water. It was really trippy. It's quiet, but it's a whole different type of fishing, right? Here, you're constantly reeling it in, and you're constantly, what's the difference, Carlos?
Basically, in lakes, you're fishing for a different kind of fish. It's fresh water. So normally there you have, there's tilapia, there's bass, which is the largemouth bass, and some have knife fish and dalag. So it's not like the saltwater pelagic fish. There it's different. So
Okay.
you'd have to search. You have to go around the whole lake and look for spots where they live.
But we were not on the season, right? We'll talk about that later. But we were kind of like off season when we went.
Yes, the season there normally when it's summertime. I think we went was December.
Yes, it was cold. Yeah, I remember.
It was cold, so it was really cold. So it's hard. Normally, when it's too cold, fish are not active. They rather just stay in one position.
But so when they are active, in fact, that's why we have to go back. Yeah, because I think when they're active, they really bite. No, they bite quite a bit.
True. Yes.
Nice.
We don't even have to search far.
They just boom, and you're constantly just reeling it out, cast it. That's it. That's the word. Cast and then reel.
Yeah. And sometimes you have a technique. No, it's how you flick your lure. Because you're either using a worm for bass, artificial worm, or a bait, a crank bait.
Okay.
So that's what freshwater fish like, no? Those are what lives in the lake.
So we still have a healthy Caliraya lake then, for fishing.
Oh yes. Caliraya. Then beside Caliraya is Lumot, is another lake right beside Caliraya. Lots of bass there as well.
You've done also tournament fishing there.
Yes, during the season when it's I think January, February, March, the tournaments are held in Caliraya.
Okay, interesting.
You mentioned lures. Is there a correlation to the lure? Bigger lure means bigger fish, or that doesn't necessarily?
It does. It works with bass fishing as well. Sometimes you use a 10-inch worm, you can get a 4 to 5 kilo bass. It depends, no? So the bigger the lure, the bigger the fish is true as well.
What's the biggest lure you've used?
Oh, for saltwater, normally it's called a rapala. It's an artificial lure. It's around 12 inches.
Wow.
And what do you catch with those?
Oh, you mahi-mahi, talakito, mackerels, especially on saltwater. Saltwater basically is bigger fish. You know?
Definitely. And then your equipment, like look at the boat, John Joe. They're strategic. They're center console, no? Carlos, the boat, the fishing boats have to have the holders. So, I always thought you're constantly holding the damn rod. It's not about holding the rod, depending on the kind of fishing you do. So apparently you cast it, you set it. Well, we're going to be discussing the different kinds of fishing, right? But for bottom fishing, you leave it in the holder and you wait. You're just waiting, you know what I mean, for a bite. And it's sometimes, if you're not patient, this is not for you. Right?
That's right.
We're like looking at the watch. Come on, man.
But that's
to be
why
honest, John Joe. To be honest, John Joe, many times Mary asked me, when can we go home? But go home, they're not biting. I said, just wait.
But Boss mentioned equipment and the center console. Now, in a lot of fishing movies, guys are always seen like, hey, don't forget the cooler of beer. So I assume while waiting, you guys are drinking a lot.
Just drinking, hanging out. If there's things to drink, you will. Definitely. Sound trip. Like this was what you used in a competition, right? Was that you, Carlos?
No, that was another boat, I believe.
Another boat. Okay.
That's in the same
But that's
place,
that's a typical fishing boat out in sea, right? Like that.
Yes.
With all the
Normally,
different holders.
when you do deep sea fishing, you need center consoles so that it's easy for you to go around, no?
Okay. Okay. So going back to like bottom fishing, okay. But just by the what it's a kind of fishing, right? So bottom fishing because why? You just leave it in the bottom and wait for it to bite? Is that why?
Yes. Well, basically, you're on stand. You're not moving. So the boat
so you're
is
anchored.
still, you're anchored, or you can also drift, no? But basically, your line reaches the bottom.
And so once it's down there, you leave it alone and you wait.
And you wait, yeah.
So if you look at it, John Joe, there's a weight, and that weight is dug to the sand. And then off the main line are all these hooks. So they don't, you know what I mean? Because sometimes when you think of fishing, you just think of the hook at the end of the line. So apparently not, right? So apparently there's a weight that goes all the way down, hopefully to the sandy bottom. And then there are these lines that are where the baits are, and they're different kinds, right? But okay, so here it's all about numbers. So if you're gonna go bottom fishing, Carlos, how many rods do you want to bring? Like 8 rods. You can put 8 rods out like that, or 6 rods.
Yeah, the more rods, the better your chances are.
Yeah. And is there a specific time? Again, the tides have a lot to do with it, right?
Yes, the tides again, the moon phase. Those are the big factors in fishing, especially bottom fishing, no?
And of course, I think your secret weapon, the locals. For some reason.
I used to do a lot of charters before. And I tell my clients, when you go into fishing, first you need to get a good guide, a good boatman who knows the fishing grounds. A lot of people spend so much money and the boatman has no idea where to go. He'll just bring you to one spot and all you do is lose your hooks, lose your weights because it's rock bottom, you know? So if you're going to spend money, I give you a guide who knows where to go. And local banqueros.
That's really important. The local banqueros know where they.
So you're not wasting your money and your time.
Because, I mean, a lot of the people who don't know where to bottom fish, you're going to get snagged by the rocks and corals and all that. And wala na, you just keep losing it.
Yeah, because much time. Your setup is not for the right structure down.
And you know, John Joe, before, I thought I caught a fish. Pare, the rod was like that. What to this? Carlos goes, that's a bato, pare.
Corals.
Yeah. No, we call that bato lapu.
You know, your mind plays tricks on you after a while. You think you caught a fish, your rod's like that. You're like, this is a big one, man. Yung pala, sabit pala. That's really
No, going back to John Joe's question, the coolers are always with beer. We have this thing, first catch drinks 1 can of beer.
Oh,
so if you catch a fish at 5 in the morning, open up a can of beer and drink it.
You have to earn your beers, basically.
And of course, they bring food also, right? For lunch or whatever. But one thing cannot be brought on the boat. Take a guess, John Joe, what it is.
People think bananas are not enough. They're very superstitious. You know?
Bananas, it was freaking eggs. You said no one bring eggs, remember? Because eggs means 0.
Eggs is bokya.
Bokya.
So for us superstitious, eggs and banana
are no go. No way.
No go. Yeah.
That's interesting. It makes sense though. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, diba? So you want to have all your variables controlled, para so you catch a fish.
Wearing a lucky rabbit's foot.
So what Mari did, he just made it scrambled egg na lang.
And
But you know, it's hard to explain, Father. Once you get that big fish and you feel that tension, it's not. I mean, you know, we've caught these things, you know, 4 inches, 3 inches. You know, you bring it down there, you just put a shrimp or something. But in the case of what Carlos, you know, taught us and how things were done, in fact, using live bait, how important is that in bottom fishing?
Oh, very important. Very important. I mean, for me, that's the number one factor is your bait. If you're fishing with dead bait, your chances are pretty much 0 to none.
So you're counting.
There is. It
Really
depends
wala.
also.
There is. Okay.
There is, but it's again depending on your location. But with live bait, it attracts fish. Movement in the water will attract fish.
And you
So
know, John Joe, his style, shrimp, right? They put a hook on the tail. So the legs are still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're moving.
Swimming like that. Yeah. And they're
So
moving.
they can swim.
So, and this
They
kind
can
of fish,
swim better.
yeah, and this kind of fish, and diba, Carlos, this kind of fish, they don't bite. They parang higop eh. They vacuum in the whole thing. Eh. That's how it gets.
They have no teeth. So what they do is they suck it and then little by little then swallow. So that's good.
That's what she said.
I
Of course, I was waiting for John Joe to just come in there.
know. I was just waiting for you to say that, Joe.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. No, but okay, because I asked earlier about the lures. So there are the artificial ones and then the live bait. So it's better talaga to have live. But where does the live come from? Because the lures you buy from stores. So do you farm the?
There are a lot of let's say we fish in Calatagan. There are a lot of fish pens and shrimp pens there, and you buy the live shrimp. If they don't have, you can actually buy it in the market morning, and it's still
early
alive.
in the morning. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and then not only that, Janjo, they have a tub. They have a tub, right? With all the live shrimp, oxygen to keep them alive. It's like an aquarium.
Yeah,
So it's like,
it's aerating.
It's aerating it.
That's right.
And it's there for hours, right? You're there for hours, you know. Sometimes you get a bite, and that's the thing, Carlos, which sometimes you get excited and you pull right away and you don't get it. That's why you were saying when these fish that don't have teeth, they suck the shrimp and they slowly, you know, eat it, right? So
They
if
chew,
they chew it. What happens if you pull it, you're just gonna pull it out of its mouth.
Exactly. So you wait. Like I tell you all the time, wait till
which
you see
hard.
them.
Yeah.
No. You can tell normally. That's why I advise you don't hold the rod. Put it on the holder. So wait for the tip to bend. That's when you get your rod.
Get it out.
Because if you're holding it till you try to pull, it's not on the right location in the mouth. You lose the fish.
Yeah.
So wait for him to start the action.
And then boom. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Then you want your hook to set well.
Yeah. Okay, and then here's another thing I wanted. Let's talk about this other type of fishing, right? Which haven't done yet. Jigging. Okay, let's talk about jigging. But I haven't done that. I haven't seen you do that also. We didn't do any jigging. What's the main difference here of jigging compared to bottom fishing?
Okay. Normally what we're doing now, the type of jigging, it's called vertical jigging. So you're normally in deeper waters. We go sometimes as deep as 200 meters.
Wow.
And we use lead lures that reach from, let's say, your 100 grams. No. So the trick there is your lure reach the bottom really quick. Because there are a lot of areas like that, 200 meters, 150 meters, that local fishermen can't reach. You know, so there are there are more fish.
No, but are they bigger fish or not really? Are they the same?
Again, it depends on the structure. That you basically there are bigger fish there.
Okay. And what's the motion of jigging? You're constantly this time you don't have a holder. You're holding onto the rod and you're constantly moving it.
You're holding onto the rod and reel. So the trick is there. It's normally this way. So you let's say we're fishing at 100 meters. Once you reach bottom, you reel up with a motion of up and down pumping. Okay? Up to around 10 to 15 meters. And then you drop again, go back to the bottom. So while you're drifting, you're catching different spots on the structure down. That's the trick.
It won't snag on the rocks, or you're hoping it's sandy.
No, normally you can fish in rocky area or sandy, but the way your jig is set up, don't normally put hooks under. So once you hit the bottom, you bring up right away. Sometimes you do snag, sometimes you don't.
So, okay, so the interesting part here is the motion. You're not anchored, you're drifting, so you're moving, and the bait is constantly moving underwater, right?
You're trying to cover all the area. That's why we're drifting. See,
and
we're trying to cover.
At 200 meters, Carlos, that's really dark down there, right?
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
So you're using something that's what, very fluorescent or something bright?
We do. There's some jigs. They call them jigs, are fluorescent. Some during the day you don't need to. You know, a lot of jigs now. They have what they call this. It's like a certain kind of sticker that they use, and it's reflectorized and all that. And you know, fish get a.
Yeah, it's all so that they can attack, I guess.
And again, your technique, the motion of your lure.
So if the first one is bottom fishing, you wait. It's being held in a holder and you're anchored. Jigging, you're just you're trabajo, man. You're working for it.
Imagine doing that the whole day, non-stop.
Oh. Yeah, you're trying to get the attention. Basically, you're mimicking something alive, diba?
Yes. And it's really at 200 meters. It's already hard. Then imagine catching a fish and then you having to bring that fish up 200 meters down.
Oh man, and it'll fight you. Of course, it'll fight. So it's a long fight.
Yeah, if you hook up a marlin, you can fight it for 3 to 4 hours.
Oh my God. That's a thing, right? So, and we'll discuss that because I want to hear about your most challenging experiences. Okay, trolling. Here, ito talaga pangtamad, para. This, you don't do anything. Janjo, this is probably the best because, you know, you let the boat ride. You know what I mean? It's not too fast. You're just, you know, 6 knots, right? And you're just letting the lines go and really far, right? And then you just wait for, you know, something to bite, hopefully, right? So is this, I mean, what is your rate of getting a bite doing some trolling, Carlos?
Basically, trolling is you go to sleep, the boatman taps you, sir, your line's out, go and fish.
Dude, I literally fell asleep when I was doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that. We were going back to Tali, and Iken was like, we had the line out, and I was going so damn slow. Exactly what you said, right? You can't go any faster because the lure will go deeper. It has to be at a certain, when you pull the lure, it goes deeper if you go faster, right? So it just stays at a certain depth. And Iken was like, puta dude, tulog. Wala naman. And yeah, these are the kind of lures, you see. So they have these lips in the front. which basically make it go down.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the faster you go, the deeper your lure goes.
And in trolling, what kind of fish are you targeting here? Like the marlin types?
Exactly. You have the billfish. You know, billfish are normally you have marlin, sailfish, anything with a bill is called a billfish. Others mackerels. No, you have tunas, the Spanish mackerel, which they call here the tanigue, which is very good to eat. And again, jacks and mahi-mahis. No.
Yeah. So
Those
okay, let me ask you.
fish.
Let me ask you, what's your favorite fishing style? I know we didn't cover all of it, but of the basic ones, trolling, jigging, bottom fishing, which is your favorite?
For me, it's bottom fishing and a bit of jigging. You know, because I've done it all. I started, bottom with my dad, then trolling, jigging. But for me, more relaxing is bottom fishing.
Yeah, makes sense. Jigging, I can't believe you're doing that for 3 hours, dude. I'll go, that's tiring, pal.
Mars, it's not 3 hours. It's 12 hours for 3 days.
See, I was going to actually ask, what's the longest time you've spent fishing? Hours, or sorry, days.
I've fished for 7 days straight.
Oh man, that's nuts, dude. That's
7 days.
addict.
That's 7 days on the boat. Yeah. That's 7 days not touching land.
That's crazy,
when you get
man.
to land, everything is so, you're disoriented.
You have sea legs. Yeah.
For sure. It really happens. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are your favorite fishing locations? Of course, not exactly, but in terms of the Philippine archipelago, what would be the most exciting fishing locations?
If you're talking about fishing in the Philippines, there are plenty areas to fish. Okay, we got 7,000 islands. So for me, I like fishing when it's a close drive to the house. You can go 2 hours away, fish the day, come back in the evening. So I have Batangas area. For me, is good fishing. If you want to do tuna, be prepared to spend at least 4 or 5 days out. Then you can do that in Palawan or Mindoro. Then if you want to do billfish, sailfish, you can do San Vicente, Cagayan, or you can do Siargao, which is called, it's known for the international game fishing location.
So it all depends on the kind of fish you want to get, right? If you want to go for a tuna or all that, you're going to have to spend days out there. You can't just go for the day and hope to catch a tuna, right?
And again, it depends also on the season. Now is the season we are in Habagat. So it is calm on the Pacific side. The West Philippine Sea is rough now because of the Habagat. So on the Pacific side is good fishing because it's calm.
So you go where it's calm. That's all. So if it's amihan, you go to the opposite.
That's right.
So you go to the west, you avoid the east because amihan, it's rough in the east.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, that makes sense. So it really depends now. I mean, it doesn't mean that there's no fishing at all. It depends on the location. If you're in Siargao area, you cannot be in Siargao during amihan, but you can be there Habagat.
You can be there in amihan, again, not when it's strong amihan. Because even the locals there don't go out. It's that dangerous.
Yeah.
So
I've seen some videos where you don't see land, you just see a wave. And
you're like 20 feet apart, and now you see him, now you don't.
Oh man, that's stress, pal. That's stress.
Yeah, I've had a lot of those.
I want to hear about your trophy catch. There's always that one fish. There's that one fish that you're gonna talk about, to everyone, right? What would that be?
One fish. I mean, I've caught a lot.
I know you've caught a lot, but you've talked to me about this one fish that was like the biggest. It was record holding. What was that again?
Maybe my personal.
Yeah, your personal.
My personal. It could be the black marlin that was caught in Siargao. I think this was year 2000. I think it was 135 kilos. That was my personal.
That's huge, man. 100 kilos. That's
yeah. You showed me a picture of that. If you could send it, I'll put it up on the podcast.
Yeah, you gotta send that.
I have that. I'll try to send it to you.
Was that your longest fight with the fish?
Yeah, that was 2.5 hours.
Just fighting. Sige
Constant.
Boom.
Constant, yeah.
And people don't get how long that is and how tiring that is. That's exhausting.
After that fight, I stayed and believe me, I was in a banca, which was the fish was actually as big as the banca. Because in Siargao, it's all banca, so you know.
Yeah.
Basically, after that, I just stayed in the boat and I slept.
So, okay, for beginners, what do you suggest? Like, you know, what's a good experience? Obviously, when you take out a beginner out to fish, you want them to catch so that they get a feel of it, right? Like, I think what you did with us, was that like jumping the gun, or was that pretty cool? It was pretty, you know, bottom fishing, close to the shore, not high out there in the middle of the sea, right? So,
yeah,
what do you suggest?
For beginners, okay, normally like now, like I told you now is the season of Kalatagan. So now for beginners, it's nice. It's not rough waters. You're like 3 to 4 in a boat, enjoying, nothing stressful, and you get to catch fish. Because the worst part is bring out a beginner and you don't catch anything. It's just demoralizing. You know, it's like, forget this sport. Let me do something else.
Yeah,
so for me,
I agree. That's why I have this.
What is that, dude? What is that?
What's left of my fishing gear? Because I got demoralized. That's exactly why I got demoralized. The only time I can catch fish is when we're in the tilapia farm and they're all just there.
Dude, it's all like catching fish from a barrel, dude.
Yeah.
Or like the one in, you know, like that place in New Valley? Or no, was it Green Hills? I think Green Hills had that.
But he just went to Koi Village in Magallanes.
What's a bad, pare. But yeah, so the best months, again, would depend where you want to go. So if it's Amihan or Habagat, got it.
Yes, just really, you know, we have apps now that give you a 5 to 7 day forecast of the weather, so you can plan it. You know, not like before. I'd go out and then all of a sudden it's a storm. You know, not knowing how the weather is. No, so now I really rely on apps that tell me the weather, and I can plan my fishing trip. You know, I used to do a lot of fishing. I mean, I'd fish once or twice a week.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And you started since you were a kid, so so it's of course toned down, but then sometimes you get that itch, right, to go back out.
Yes. I mean, if I can fish once a month now, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, Carlos, we're moving on to our next segment. It's called This or That. Okay, you get to choose one, either this or that. You can't choose both, and you have to explain why. Okay, so this segment's brought to you by Mala Yerba, our IPA, our only Crow's IPA.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Here we go. Are you ready, Carlos? Okay.
Okay.
Here we
What's
go.
this?
This or that.
I'm a Max kind of guy.
Yeah. Woohoo! Okay. No, because I had to look for something that's not US. It has to be Pinoy. And I wanted fried chicken.
Oh, yeah.
So
Max
I said,
is great.
okay, Is it a Jollibee fried chicken or the Max fried chicken? Of course, Iken in the US. Of course, you had your American friends try the Jollibee.
Yeah, I had them try Jollibee. They love Jollibee. I love Jollibee. But Max has got this like sweet and spicy chicken they used to have.
Yeah.
So good, hits the spot.
But only God knows. But only God knows what's in there.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what that sweet and spicy is. That's why I'm gonna have to go with this. I'm gonna have to go with Jollibee on that one.
Well, Janjo, what's your pick on this, man?
That. Definitely that.
Really? Huh?
Yeah, because with this, it's all about the breading. Sometimes you don't even get the total weight that you're expecting.
Yeah, you're totally right about that, John Joe.
Okay.
But I gotta say, I'm a KFC guy. I'm a KFC guy.
Kano, man. Kano.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Fuck you guys.
Anyway, people who don't know Carlos plays a lot of basketball. Once upon a time. Okay?
Come on, man. I'm an 80s guy. Michael Jordan. All the way.
Yeah, but I mean, right now, dude, there's a lot of controversy of people calling, James, what do you call it? LeBron, what do you call it? The GOAT. And then, there's a lot of stats coming on both sides, pare. One is, I don't know, what would you consider to be the ultimate stat? Is it the ring on the finger? Or is it the rebounds, the points, the games won? It's just too many ways to go. How do you call someone a GOAT? Okay, you guys are basketball. I mean, Iken, what would you use as the main parameter?
I would honestly go for rings because it's all about winning in the end of the day. And if you can score 80 points a game, but if you don't win, it doesn't matter, right? So if you can get 6 rings, you're great. That's why I think Kobe should be here too, instead of LeBron. Although I love LeBron, he brought the Cavs a championship.
Yeah, it is. So Carlos, do you agree that it's the ring and the finger?
For sure it is. For me, that's the only advantage Michael has over LeBron, more rings.
But you see, that's the thing about basketball, right? Even if you're really good, you still need 5 to make a win. You know what I mean? So it's gotta come in together. I mean, the right players in the right team at the right time, right?
But who do you think would win a one-on-one? LeBron or James?
That's an
LeBron or Jordan,
question. Sorry. One-on-one. Who do you think, Carlos?
Michael Jordan.
Really? How big is LeBron? How big is LeBron? He's much bigger.
I think LeBron is 6'9".
Yeah, dude, but this guy's much wider, dude. This guy is like, a freight train, man.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, there you go. 2.06 meters. 1.98. Okay. Man, and the weight running to it's a different story.
But you guys are forgetting the most important thing. It's the era of basketball. Back then, Jordan's time, players were still men. Now, fouls are called for nothing.
Yeah.
So if you put a shock trooper versus a sensitive millennial, which LeBron is, Jordan will always.
A lot of LeBron fans are gonna kill you, man.
No place for a snowflake, right?
Now the rules have changed. The game has definitely changed, and Jordan was in a league where no blood, no foul.
Yeah, I know. I saw some of those really. Who was that guy? That white guy who kept whacking on Jordan from Indiana?
Bill Lambier.
Smith?
That dude,
Lambier, yeah.
That guy was nasty.
Oh, he was from Detroit. He was a Detroit.
Yeah, that's right. He was
Detroit.
And thinking of
that guy was nasty. He was nasty.
Not as nasty. Next.
Hey, next. Let's move on. Okay, partner, what do you do? What do you do? This or that? When it's yellow, Carlos, what do you do?
I speed up that.
You see, Saul, you're wrong. He's gonna speed up. He's not gonna slow down. Saul thought you're the type to slow down.
No. Speed up.
Speed up. Okay, speed up. Oh, here we go. Are you OC or not? This or that, Carlos?
You know what? I'll go for this.
Yeah, you know what? Same here, man. Same here. I'm a this guy. I don't know how you can be patient enough to squeeze every bit of toothpaste from one end to the other. John Joe, what are you?
I'm definitely that. Because I don't buy toiletries a lot. Like sometimes like when my deodorant's running out, I put it under the sink just to get a little bit more rub.
Serious?
Do you have one of these? You know these brochures?
But okay. I was trained before cell phones in the toilet. When you have nothing to do and you've read every cosmetic item that's there and you're bored, you roll the toothpaste.
I thought you were gonna say you read every porn magazine.
All the shampoos I memorized on the ingredients. That's before cell phones. And so it's a habit that carried on, I guess.
There you go. Okay, well here's another one for you, man. Okay, this one. This or that. Team Michael Jordan or Team Kobe Bryant? At their prime, huh? At their prime, Carlos, at their prime. So if all teams were at their prime and these two teams played one against the other, who would you go for? Team Jordan or Team Bryant?
Team Jordan.
This is hard. This is hard, man. This is
hard.
That's I'm a Jordan guy, but when you look at Team Bryant, come on, dude.
You think Larry Bird's gonna guard LeBron James?
No, but at their prime, even at their prime, because we're thinking of them as old.
I gotta give this to Team Kobe because, like what John Joe said, they are snowflakes, but also nowadays they're way more athletic.
Yeah, Iba. And they don't have those shorts that really hug the crotch.
Dude, do you see?
They do. They bring it back. They bring it back once in a while.
No, LeBron brings it back.
Yeah, they have like heritage. Well, not heritage.
Shit.
No,
really?
I think the heritage. Maybe just the jerseys, but not the shorts.
Sometimes it's a retro night. Jerseys, they do.
Yeah.
There, okay. He's wearing the shorts.
Yeah, but because he's wearing those underneath shorts. But without that, he looks really off. It's really off to look at. Which I have a really funny story, Carlos. Do you know that Cebu Gems, I think, they were owned by...
Yeah, NBA. Before.
Yeah, the NBA. I think, or it's another team. But I think it was Cebu, where the owner asked that the shorts be like the older shorts. Really tight, man. Really short shorts. It looked weird on the court, man. It's really bad in the modern day. Yeah? But apparently they're bringing it back. Who would have thought? So wait, did you answer the thing? You didn't even answer, Carlos.
I did.
Jordan?
I'm still Jordan.
You're still Jordan, huh? Wow. How about you, John Joe?
It has to be the new. It's definitely Kobe. Team Kobe because even with the centers that they have, well, it's weird because Team Jordan has two great passers. Yeah, then two centers. Well, you have Tim Duncan too, but I don't know. I think Shaq will occupy a lot of space inside. That the outside shooting of Wade and Kobe will outdo them.
Kill it. We'll kill it. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's out there now going viral. People.
But I gotta say, who's got the
it.
nicer shoes? I'll give it to Team Jordan. Team Jordan. And Bird, they had those nice Converse.
Okay, last one, buddy. What's this? Are you lifted or closed?
I'm a this.
You're a this? Really, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Janjo, are you this or that?
When taking a piss. Look, when taking a piss, huh?
Okay.
It goes back to my pet ownership that I'm always this. And because I also have ex-girlfriends who always hated the that part. Because you would have the cats would walk on that. So at least with this, the cats just fall in the toilet. It's okay.
Oh, so wait, but the cats would actually do their business on the toilet?
No. I did no. But they like to go up there and they're curious because of the water.
They drink water.
Sometimes, yeah.
Hopefully with nothing floating in it, man.
But you can train cats. We just yeah.
Whoa, nice one.
If you check my Instagram, we did train one cat. We trained you can train a cat. There's a litter that first it starts off you mount it on the toilet. Then you cut a small hole, and then after 2 weeks you make it bigger and then bigger and then bigger, and then the cat gets used to taking a shit
and balance properly.
Yeah,
again.
I have a photo somewhere on my Instagram. We trained one cat, but since we have like 6, it's just a novelty lang that one cat knows how to. It doesn't know how to flush.
Wait, but your pet bird is still with you, Carlos, right?
The cockatoo, yes.
Pare, Janjo, they've had a cockatoo since it was like a baby. And it's like part of the family, and it's kulang na lang, it talks to you, pare. That's wild.
It talks.
That's galing.
The cockatoo talks.
It talks. There you go. It talks.
And this is a good.
Pity the 2 ostrich, pare.
This is a good segue to our.
Oh yeah.
From cockatoo to cockatier. We have to ask that question.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that question, man. Okay.
Yeah, it's tied up.
This is the last because we have like an ongoing poll, right, Carlos? And you heard of the word cocktail, right? Okay. We've had some guests who gave us some of the theories of where the word cocktail comes from. I have my own, which apparently cocktail, cocktail, right?
Yeah. Cocktail.
John Joe's got one too.
Exactly. So we are running a poll, and you have to choose which theory is the most probable or what you feel would be the right theory. Okay. Now here's one theory. One theory is the word cocktail comes from this cup that looks like the jigger. Okay, it looks like where you get a soft-boiled egg, you put it on top of this small-looking thing. Okay, that's called in French a cockatier. Okay, and apparently that word was mispronounced in the future to look like the jigger, right? The jigger that the ones they use to pour the drink. So from cockatier, it became cocktail. Okay, that's where the word cocktail. So that's the first theory. The second theory, the second theory is about cocktails are supposed to perk you up. Okay, now there's this thing called gingering. Apparently, there's this thing called gingering to horses. You ginger horses. What do? To perk up the horse before a show. These are for show horses. They would get a finger of ginger and stick it up the ass of the horse. Okay, they would lift the tail, they'd cock up the tail, and stick the ginger so that they would perk up. So ergo cocktail. That's the second theory. Okay.
Okay.
My theory, which is I think probable, is the cock has a tail, right? Now,
Okay.
when you look at the cocktail, what do you see? Diba garnish? So you
Yeah.
garnish with a cock's tail. So my theory is it's probably from the cock's tail as a garnish of a drink, right? Now, John Joe, what was your theory again?
It's like kwentong barbero. It's a cock's tail. It's a man's tail. So when a guy offers a lady a drink, because back in the day, not all ladies were allowed to drink with men, so they give them a diluted, watered down version of the drink so that the ladies can get wasted. So it's literally a cock's tail. Kwentong lalaki na parang, oy, here, babe, something to loosen you up. And it's not as strong as the whiskeys that they were having, because it was either watered down, iced down, or with juice or with mixtures. So that's my version.
So 4 theories. Which would you go for? The cocktail, the cocotier, cocktail, the gingering, cocktail, the garnish, or cocktail, which is a tail of a man in a bar.
That's a hard one to choose from, huh?
Right? I'm telling you, man. If you Google this, I kid you not, there's so many theories, but at least those 4 are probables.
Yeah, you're right. Those 4 that can be probable, yeah. But if you're to ask me, I'd go with the first one.
Whoa! Catherine!
That's 2 points for Cat.
Cat. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's an interesting one too, right? But you know, never knows. So Carlos, that's it for the night, man.
I actually have a question for him.
Oh yeah, one more
Tito,
question. Go ahead.
Last question.
Go ahead, Hicks.
Do you have a favorite fishing show?
Favorite fishing show?
Yeah, whether it's on TV, Netflix.
Now what I do now is I watch a lot of YouTubers who have their own fishing channels.
Yeah, any favorite ones?
I like this guy who's called Deer Meat for Dinner.
Deer Meat for Dinner.
I'll check him out.
He does hunting and fishing.
We should check it out.
That's cool because I love watching that stuff, so I'll check it out.
He likes
watching that. Watch him. I think his name is Robert Arrington. Deer Meat for Dinner. I like his shows.
Cool. All right, Carlos. Hey, thanks.
Exotics.
Sounds good. I'll check it out.
Thanks so much, Pare, for giving us your time and your expertise. I know this is basic fishing 101, but you gotta start somewhere, right?
Can I have one request?
Sure. What's up?
When's John Joe joining us on the boat?
Yeah.
when I fix my gear.
We got some gear for you.
When I fix it.
Yes, dude, you gotta do that. One time we gotta go.
I'd be happy to join you guys.
I have all the supplies you need.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. Cheers,
Thanks,
Carlos.
guys.
Thank you, buddy.
Enjoy, guys.
Thanks so much.
Bye.